Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Aquí estamos para aprender español con Profesor Pablo y learn Spanish with Profesor Pablo. We've got an incredible lesson for today. We've gone nuclear. This is a real tsunami, right? Okay, everyday activities number 3. Everyday activities number 1 and number 2, we did those. Those were huge lessons, and we want to build upon the colossus that we've already started to construct. Let's take a look here. We have all sorts of clusters. You know, above anything, I love clusters, so I'm happy. Estoy muy feliz. Estoy súper feliz porque hay muchos grupos aquí para, a lot of clusters here to talk about, para hablar. Let's see cuántos clusters hay. Let's practice our numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 grupos, 13 clusters para estudiar y aprender aquí. All right. We're going to learn today that verbs that end in ER or IR, to make them the ing form, you take the ER or the IR off of the verb. For example, you take ER off of perder, which means to lose. Perdiendo is losing. Take the IR off of escribir, which is to write. Escribiendo. There are 3 types of verbs in Spanish, and only 3. There are AR verbs, which we've studied in everyday activities 1 and 2. And now we're going to introduce ER and IR verbs. And when we say AR, ER, and IR, we mean what they end in. If you look them up in the dictionary, and they end, we know all infinitives end in R, but there are 3 types. There's AR, ER, and IR. 95% or more of the verbs in the Spanish language are AR verbs. There are some ER and IR, but there aren't too many. So we picked some of them here to show you and use for examples tonight. So we learned that ando is the ing ending for AR verbs. And we put a few AR verbs here to practice. Remember, review and new. A little bit of old and a little bit of new. That's how you learn. A step backwards, 2 or 3 steps forward. Trabajando, working. Visitando, visiting. And hablando, talking. Cerrar is to close. Cerrando is closing. So the AR ing ending is ando. You just take off the AR and add ando. Trabajando, working. Visitando, visiting. Hablando, talking. And cerrando, cerrando. Roll those R's. Roll them like you mean it. Cerrando, closing. But now for verbs that end in ER and IR, let's see what we have. We have ver, which is to watch TV, ver la tele. Comer is to eat. Beber is to drink. Llover, we know already, is to rain. Dormir is to sleep. Morir is to die. Escribir, to write. Abrir is to open. Hacer is to do or to make. Poder is to be able to do something. And tener is to have. Subir, to climb or go up, like go up the stairs. Vender is to sell. You get it, a vending machine, right? Vender is to sell. And perder is to lose. So if we want to take these ER and IR verbs and turn them into their ing form, how do we do it? Okay, we take the ER and the IR off and we add yendo, yendo, yendo. So let's do it. Ver la tele is to watch TV. Viendo la tele is watching TV. Take the ER off, it leaves you with a V, and add yendo, viendo la tele. Comer, to eat, comiendo, eating. Beber, to drink, bebiendo, drinking. Llover, to rain, lloviendo, raining. Now, dormir and morir, they're special. We can't say dormiendo or moriendo. The O has to change to a U when we go in the ing form. That's easy. And again, it's not something you study. If you hear me say durmiendo, sleeping, and muriendo, dying like a plant, we don't like to talk about people. We talk about plants and trees or something in the nature, right? Muriendo, durmiendo, there's a U in there. I don't have to tell you. You hear papá está durmiendo, then mom is sleeping. Mamá está durmiendo. That's how we learn. You hear it, it makes sense, and your brain takes over. But anyways, to point it out, the O changes to a U for morir and dormir when you go ing form. Durmiendo is sleeping, muriendo is dying. Like, la planta está muriendo. The plant is dying. Necesita agua. It needs water. La planta está muriendo. The plant está muriendo, dying. Okay, to write, escribir. Escribiendo is writing. Abrir is to open. Abriendo, opening. Hacer is to do or to make. Haciendo is doing or making. Like if I say, what are you doing? ¿Qué estás haciendo? ¿Qué estás haciendo? What are you doing? Perder is to lose. If you want to say they're losing, están perdiendo. Vender is to sell. Vendiendo is selling. Subir is to climb or go up. Subiendo is climbing or going up. Tener is to have. Teniendo is having. And, poder, we don't use it in the ing form, but it's also a U verb. It'd be pudiendo. You don't use it. You're not going to say it, so don't worry about it. Okay. Now, we've introduced our ER and IR verbs. We know how to turn them into the ing form. We know that dormir and morir, to go in the ing form, yes, you take the IR off and you add iendo like we did with all the other verbs here. However, in the beginning of the verb, we change the O to a U. Those are two exceptions. Poder is the same thing, pudiendo, but we don't ever say being able to. So don't worry about it. Okay, we know AR verbs, ando. Trabajando, working, visitando, visiting, hablando, talking, or speaking. When I put boy, you already know, boy, bas, ba, vamos, ban. I don't have room to write boy, bas, ba, vamos, ban down. With estar, I don't have room to write estoy, estás, está, estamos, están. We've written it out many times already. We know it. It's in here. So when you see boy, that means it could be bas, ba, vamos, or ban. Estoy could be estás, está, estamos, están. And again here, boy means it could be boy, bas, ba, vamos, ban. Remember we said iba, what you were going to do. If you want to say, I am going to work, voy a trabajar en Nueva York, este verano. I'm going to work in New York. We're adding elements, aren't we? Voy a, your verb, what you're going to do, voy a trabajar, where? En Nueva York, when? Este verano. Who with? Con mis amigos. Why? Porque necesito dinero, because I need money. You see, you just take little segments and add them one to another, and then you get your big long sentences. So again, to say what you're going to do, we are going to speak Spanish. Vamos a hablar español. We're going to visit our aunt and uncle. Vamos a visitar a mis tíos. Remember one of our early lessons. You don't say a mi tío y tía. That's why I want you to go in sequence on your lessons, right? Well, this is lesson 35, I believe. Go in sequence. So when I say we're going to visit my aunt and uncle, you know. Vamos a visitar a mis tíos. Not tío y tía, a mis tíos. My grandparents, a mis abuelos. My friends, a mis amigos. We also said anytime you do something to a person, if you visit a person, right? If you see a person, you have to use that a in the middle there. Vamos, we're going to visit our friends. Vamos a visitar a nuestros amigos. Iba a is what you were going to do. If you want to say like, I was going to watch TV. Iba a ver la tele. We were going to watch TV. Just stretch it out and put an MOS on it. Íbamos a ver la tele. We were going to watch TV. We were going to eat Mexican food tonight. Íbamos a comer la comida mexicana esta noche. Add the different elements. What, the food, and when. Okay, that's why it's important. We had a lesson on when. You have to know all these different ways of saying when. Last night, this morning, next week, in a year, 10 years, 5 days ago. Those are all important. Again, we were going to open the store, but we didn't have any money. Íbamos a, right here, íbamos a abrir la tienda, pero, no teníamos dinero. But we didn't have any money. No teníamos dinero. Okay? Now, isn't that interesting? You hear, if I say no teníamos dinero, and you understand that to mean exactly what it means, which is we did not have any money, no teníamos dinero, you're going to figure out, well, no teníamos, the MOS is we, so no tenía means I didn't have any money. Yo no tenía dinero. Ella no tenía dinero. Mi mamá no tenía dinero. Nobody had any money. Nadie tenía dinero. Don't you see? You take an example, you imitate it, and then you break free out of the corral and you run. You run like a champion and you create language. Let's go here. Estoy. So with the INGs, like you want to say, I'm watching TV. Hey, I'm busy. Estoy ocupado. Estoy viendo la tele. We are eating. Estamos comiendo. She's drinking beer. Ella está tomando, right? Está tomando cerveza. Tomar is to drink. But we also have beber. Ella está bebiendo cerveza. Estaba. I was writing a letter. Yo estaba escribiendo una carta. I was opening the windows. Yo estaba abriendo las ventanas. Remember, estoy, estás, está, estamos, están, plus the ing is what you are doing. Estaba, estabas, estaba, estábamos, estaban, plus the ing is what you were doing. So if I want to say we were eating, estábamos comiendo. The team was losing. El equipo estaba perdiendo. They were selling their house. We know how to say their, his or her. It's su, S-U. That was a prior lesson. So they were selling their house. Remember the N factor. Just add an N. Estaban. Let's go right here. Estaban vendiendo su casa. Well, here you go. Estaban vendiendo su casa because they needed money. Do you realize what you can say already? This is like going into second-year Spanish in a classroom. Remember we learned to take a verb, an AR verb, in the ABA form, and we're going to learn the ER and IR verbs. You can use the EA form. So if I want to say, expand the sentence, they were selling the house because they didn't have any money, let's say. Estaban with the N, vendiendo their house, su casa, porque, we had that word, porque, no, they didn't have any money. So no teníamos, for they it would be the N factor, no tenían dinero. Check it out. Estaban vendiendo su casa. They were, all these elements we know, they were selling. Estaban vendiendo su casa porque no tenían dinero. Because they didn't have any money. Let's take a peek here. This is new. This is a whole new weapon for your armament. If you want to say voy a estar plus ando yendo. If you say I'm going to work. Voy a trabajar. I was going to work. Iba a trabajar. I am working. Estoy trabajando. I was working. Estaba trabajando. But what is this? Voy a estar trabajando. All right, Susie in the back row. Yes. What's the answer? You're right. It means I am going to be working in Los Angeles, for example. Voy a estar trabajando en Los Angeles. It's just Legos. It's like little kids playing with Legos or Lincoln Logs or something of the sort. So now we can say what you're going to do, what you were going to do, what you are doing, what you were doing, and now what you are going to be doing, and what you were going to be doing. You've heard this all the time. People say, we were going to sell the house. We were going to sell the house. Íbamos a vender. Íbamos a vender la casa. And someone says, yeah, we were selling our house, but we're not anymore. Estábamos, we were. Estábamos vendiendo la casa, pero ya no, but not anymore. Could you say, we were going to be selling the house? We were going to be selling the house. Sure, that makes sense. Íbamos a estar vendiendo la casa. Íbamos a estar vendiendo la casa. If you want to say, I'm going to be opening the store at 8 a.m. Voy a estar abriendo. Voy a estar abriendo la tienda a las 8 de la mañana. Want to stretch out that sentence? Just put porque, because porque en la mañana, in the morning, hay muchas personas, there are many people que quieren venir a comprar algo, that want to come buy something. Let's try another one. We're going to be eating meat and potatoes. Vamos a estar comiendo carne y papas. Carne y papas. It is going to be raining. This is a great one, great one. It is what? It's not boy, that's I am. It is going is va. Va a estar lloviendo. Oh my gosh. That's a mic drop right there. It's going to be raining. Va a estar lloviendo. Va a estar. Va a estar lloviendo. Remember nevar, to snow, Nevada, snow-covered land, snowfall. Nevar is to snow. How would you say it's going to be snowing? Va a estar nevando. I'm going to be working in Chicago this summer. Voy a estar trabajando en Chicago este verano. Okay? We are going to be visiting our relatives. Vamos a estar visitando a nuestros parientes. Language acquisition can be quick when you learn the tips and the tricks and go in sequence. Look, if you're climbing a ladder, you go rung by rung by rung. You don't start at the bottom of the ladder and jump up 4 rungs. You could fall down and get hurt, right? If you're taking an elevator to get to the 20th floor, and if you're starting at the 7th, you got to go to the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, 11th. Sequence. I have sequenced these lessons to come together, to dovetail, right? So that you can take your prior knowledge and keep applying it and adding new skills and knowledge. So please go in sequence. All right, we've hit these pretty hard right now. We know the 2 ways of saying ing. For AR verbs, it's ando. For ER and IR verbs, it is yendo. We know that dormir, sleeping, is durmiendo. Morir, muriendo. Hey, you tell your buddy, don't call. No me llames. We're going to get into how to tell people what to do and not to do, okay? No me llames, don't call me. I'm going to be sleeping. Voy a estar durmiendo. Voy a estar durmiendo. You drive by your friend's house and he told you, voy a estar durmiendo, I'm going to be sleeping, and you see he's out mowing the yard or washing the car, and you say, hey, weren't you going to be sleeping? Weren't you going to be? Bingo. No ibas a no ibas a estar durmiendo. Easy. Weren't you going to be sleeping? No ibas a estar durmiendo. ¿Que estás loco? What are you crazy? La planta necesita de agua. The plant needs water. Está muriendo. Right back here. Está muriendo. The O goes to you. Muriendo. Those are the only 2 we care about. Durmiendo, muriendo. Now let's say about a team in the national football rankings, okay? By playing well at the end of the season, you want to say like LSU is rising, LSU is going up, LSU está subiendo, subir, LSU está subiendo. My dad right now, as we speak, he's climbing Mount Everest. Mi papá, ahorita, right now, mi papá está subiendo Mount Everest, okay? Hey, people say, we're gonna have a party. Vamos a tener una fiesta. We were going to have a party, plans changed. Íbamos a tener una fiesta. Someone calls, hola Frankie, ¿cómo estás? Frankie, what's up? How you doing? ¿Qué tal, hermano? What's going on, brother? We're having a party. We are having a party. How do we do it? Estamos teniendo una fiesta. Right now, estamos teniendo una fiesta. Hey, tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, we are going to be having a party. Here it is. Vamos a estar teniendo. Vamos a estar teniendo una fiesta. It's easy. Vamos a estar teniendo una fiesta. You want to make a sentence longer? Put porque, because, one word, P-O-R-Q-U-E. Vamos a tener una fiesta, or vamos a estar teniendo una fiesta, porque es el cumpleaños de mi mamá. It is my mom's birthday. Remember your parents. We, parents, love you, children. Remember your parents. Okay, let's go down here. Oh boy, hey, here's another door that opens up to a wide horizon. Endless possibilities. Poder means power. Like when I whoop Joe Frazier. Power. And I get that sucker in the ring, I stick him and move, I whoop Joe Frazier. I love Joe Frazier, just so you know that. But anyways, Muhammad Ali tenía mucho poder, a lot of power. Joe Frazier tenía mucho poder. He had a lot of power. As a noun, el poder is power. But poder as a verb means to be able to, okay? I'm not going to be able to work. Here we are. What you can do, what you're going to be able to do. No voy a poder trabajar. Wow, we did it. We put two infinitives next to each other. Two unconjugated verbs. Two R forms of the verb next to each other. I'm not going to be able to work. No voy a poder trabajar. Is that hard? ¿Es difícil? Claro que no. Okay. We're going to be able to talk tomorrow. We're going to be able to talk tomorrow. Where are we? Where are we? We're right here. Vamos a poder hablar mañana. Vamos a poder hablar mañana. The verb ir, I-R, is the verb to go. I-R, ir. That's where we get boy. Boy, vas, ba, vamos, van. I-R here is referring to an infinitive ending. But I-R by itself is to go. If you want to say, I am going to be able to go, voy a poder ir. Voy a poder ir. I'm not going to be able to work tomorrow. No voy a poder trabajar mañana. We're not going to be able to eat until later. No vamos a poder comer hasta después. Hasta más tarde. Hasta luego. How about this? We're not going to be able to go outside because it is raining. Look, you know this. Listen. No vamos a poder ir. Location, we had that. Afuera, outside. No vamos a poder ir afuera because, porque it's raining. Está lloviendo. Don't you see what you can say? No vamos a poder ir afuera porque está lloviendo. Imitate and create. We're not going to be able to be outside because it's cold. No vamos a poder estar afuera porque hace frío. We already did our weather expressions. Let's do a few more. Are you going to be able to go to a friend? ¿Vas a poder ir? Are you going to be able to help? ¿Vas a poder ayudar? Are you going to be able to pay me? ¿Vas a poder pagarme? Are you going to be able to watch TV tonight? ¿Vas a poder ver la tele? We know it. Esta noche. Okay? So we've got poder. Let's talk about la puerta and la ventana, door and window. In English, people say this: eres mejor puerta que ventana. What does that mean? Anybody there in the audience? Anyone? How about you? Mejor puerta que ventana. You're a better door than window. If you're blocking someone's view, hey, if you're blocking, si estás bloqueando la vista de alguien, Spanish and English, it is, I'm telling you, I am so excited that we're all learning this together. Me estás bloqueando la vista, you're blocking my view. It's just what we studied. Me estás bloqueando what? La vista. And I can't see. Okay? So, la puerta, la ventana. If you want to say, I'm going to close the door, voy a cerrar la puerta. We're going to close the windows. Vamos a cerrar las ventanas. Okay? If I want to say they're going to be closing the doors in 10 minutes, you've heard that, an employee, hey, they're going to be closing the doors in 10 minutes. How would we do that? Well, we know it's going to end in ing. You hear in English, they are going to be closing, ing. So we know it's going to have cerrando. They are going, we know that's van, a. So what is the verb to be? How about estar? Van a estar, right here. Van a estar cerrando las puertas a las 9. They're going to be closing the doors at 9. Van a estar cerrando las puertas a las 9 because it's very late. Es muy tarde. Es muy noche. When you say es muy noche, it's very night. That means it's very late. Es muy noche. Es muy tarde. Remember, iba is what you were going to do. We were going to watch TV. Íbamos a ver la tele. We were going to be doing homework. Íbamos a estar haciendo la tarea. It was going to be raining. It's not raining, right? The forecast fell through. No está lloviendo, but you want to say it was going to be raining. Iba a estar lloviendo. Iba a estar lloviendo. And when you get confident, iba a estar lloviendo. It just flows off the tip of your tongue. Tener. We were having a party and the police came. I was having a wedding in my backyard and I was the officiant, and the police came at 9:30. They said it was too noisy. Dios mío, Dios mío. Anyways, estábamos teniendo una boda. We were having a wedding. Estábamos teniendo una boda en mi casa. Y a las 9, la policía llegó. We haven't gotten into that llegó yet, but we'll get there. That last example, I got sidetracked. Okay, what you're going to do, what you were going to do, what you are doing, what you were doing, what you're going to be doing, and what you were going to be doing. We've got our verbs to work, to visit, to talk, to watch TV, to eat, to drink, to reign, to sleep, to die, to lose, to sell, to climb or go up, or to rise, like in the rankings with LSU, to have, poder, to be able, hacer, to do or to make, cerrar, to close, abrir is to open, escribir. Problems. I was having problems. Estaba teniendo problemas. I was having problems. I'm not going to have problems. No voy a tener problemas. I was going to have a lot of problems. Iba a tener muchos problemas. I was having problems. Estaba teniendo problemas. Pero ya no, but not anymore. What have we left? What little cluster have we left? We need to bust them all. Remember, we're all cluster busters. What is a cluster that we haven't hit yet? Anybody see it? Right here. We touched it, but we didn't really hit it. Aba and ia. Okay, let's talk about AR verbs. Remember, aba, take the AR off and put aba. Trabajaba, I was working. Visitaba, I was visiting. Hablaba, I was talking. Also, it means I used to work. Like you could say, I used to work at that store. Trabajaba en aquella tienda. I used to visit my neighbors a lot. Visitaba a mis vecinos mucho. But you could say, I was eating. Estaba comiendo. You could also take the ia, take the ER off, and put comía. Comía could be I was eating, I used to eat, or I would eat, like I would eat a lot. Cuando era pequeño, I used to eat a lot of ice cream. Comía mucho helado. I used to eat. Comía mucho helado. I would eat a lot of ice cream. Comía mucho helado. Let's try another one. Let's take escribir. I was writing a letter. Estaba escribiendo. Escribiendo una carta. Or you could say, escribía una carta. So if you want to say that you were doing something, you could use the aba ia form, or you could use the estaba with the yendo or ando. Let's go aba. My neighbor spoke French. Mi vecino hablaba francés. My neighbor spoke Spanish. Mi vecino hablaba español. Okay? When I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of TV. Well, we're not going to go that with this one. This one's got a little exception to it. There are exceptions here or there, right? Just like in a road. Every once in a while, you see a little weed pop up. We'll deal with those, okay? I know all the answers for Spanish. When we get to that point, we'll point it out to you. But with this is an exception. It still ends in ia, but it's beia. But let's say, for example, they were kissing in front of the school. Besaban, put the N. Besaban enfrente de la escuela. So let's be sure that you understand how to say estaba plus the ando yendo to say what you were doing, okay? This is an alternate way of saying what you were doing. This is not today's lesson. We're just briefly introducing it, okay? It also could be used to say what you used to do or what you would do all the time. Like I would always talk to my friends. Siempre hablaba con mis amigos. I would always talk to my friends in class. Siempre hablaba con mis amigos en la clase. I would always open up the door for my mom. Siempre le abría la puerta a mi mamá. I would always close the windows at night. Siempre cerraba las ventanas en la noche. Okay, so know that the aba ia has three potential meanings. It could be synonymous with estaba plus ando yendo for what you were doing. It could also be used by itself to express what you used to do or would do all the time in the past. We're going to hit that harder. This is just a little introduction. But certainly, we want to make sure that you know how to put any verb in the ing form. ER and IR verb, you're going to put yendo at the end. AR, it's going to be ando. Yes, there are a few exceptions. And the best example for exceptions would be you people right there. You are exceptional. We'll get to the exceptions. But this takes care of the vast majority of verbs in the Spanish language. What you're going to do, what you were going to do. What you are doing, what you were doing. What you're going to be doing. What you were going to be doing. Our new verbs: to rain, to drink, to eat, to watch TV, to talk, to visit, to work, to sleep, to die, to write, to open, to close, to do or to make, to be able to do something. La puerta is door, la ventana is window, tener to have, subir to go up, to rise, to climb, vender to sell, and perder is to lose. Okay, es todo por ahora. This is a lot. There's a whole lot here, just like everyday activities 1, 2, and now everyday activities 3. But as we go and do more activity verbs, it's going to get easier and easier and easier. It's just like concrete. We poured the concrete with lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, we put that drying stuff that you toss on top. And now lesson number 3, some of these concepts are starting to dry. They're set. You've got it, okay? Some may still be drying a little bit, but you're going to be fine and you're going to get them. But don't worry, we don't leave anybody behind. We always come back and go over and review. Okay, gracias, mis amigos. This is a long lesson, I know, but you're learning. You're doing great. Keep it up, and we'll see you soon. Hasta pronto. Tengan un gran día mañana. Hasta luego. Bye.